Hey guys, let's get started on the Fight Bananas podcast. We're going to hit on the epic match of Poirier versus Hooker. Mike Perry in his corner, and also we're going to talk about Anderson Silva's his last opponent in the octagon. Guys, buckle up for another edition of the Fight Bananas podcast. Hello world, what's up guys? This is Dave Van Alken back again, once again on the Fight Bananas podcast. How's everyone doing out there? Happy good morning Monday. Man, it's Monday. It's a great day. We're going to kick off the week here. Of course, the only way we know how, talking MMA. What a great show this past weekend. Oh my goodness. Prelims, main card, storylines galore, and then especially a fight of the year candidate, the main event, a lightweight title contender, Poirier and Hooker. Just unreal. It's one of those fights. It's going to go down for a long time. Could be fight of 2020. Corona pandemic era fight of the year. I love it. Guys, the Professor John Rafferty is about to join. We're going to go all in with an Anderson Silva topic. Who will the Spider fight last in the octagon? Who is he going to fight next? So much more. But first, guys, let's get started with the main topic at hand, the Diamond. Dustin Poirier defeated Dan Hooker. Unanimous decision, 48-47s. I can see that. I can argue 49-46, but come on, 48-47, I'm down. I'm good. But it made me think about it. And, us here at Fight Bananas, we like to take stuff from left field. And one thing I realized about the Diamond, where I kind of want to start here is, we all have those friends. We all have multiple friends, multiple family members. And we have that friend or that brother or that uncle that you see him every 3, 4, 5 months, maybe once a year for a birthday party, get together, a big fight, whatever the case may be, New Year's Eve. And they're the best. It's a fun time. It's a great time. You go out, you probably maybe drink a little bit too much, you maybe eat too much, you have the best time. But would you call that friend? Would you call that family member when you have to get picked up from the airport? When you need to run to the airport? When you need to move? You know what I mean? The washing machine broke and, the garage is a little flooded and you just need to clean your clothes real quick so you can get to work on a Tuesday morning. Would you call that friend? And what I'm taking this as, we just saw Gaethje and Ferguson. We just saw the Dustin, the Diamond, and we saw Hooker. And they keep showing those lightweight rankings. And the champ, the undefeated, Khabib Nurmagomedov, is the champ. And Conor McGregor's there. And those guys are great. I'm not going to be anti-Conor here or anti-Khabib Nurmagomedov. I'm not doing that. But I'm just, the best part of ability is availability. And I'm just tired of all the talk and all the possible matchups and everything else we do night in, night out, every podcast, every time Poirier has a fight. Who's he going to fight next? Is it going to be Ferg? Is it going to be this person? And it's just like, guys, right in front of us, we have Dustin the Diamond, and we got Gaethje, and we got guys going to war. It's just, why do we always put Khabib and Conor, and we just want to talk about him and get this fight, and maybe now Conor should fight Dustin, or how about Dustin should fight Khabib in the rematch? There's just this always, every single time, a lightweight, big match, big fight, great performance. Of course, Conor's name comes up. Khabib's name comes up. And guys, those guys are cool. And when they come around once a year, we're all going to watch. We're all going to pay for it. We're all going to have a good time. But I'm kind of getting over it a little bit. I like the availability. Who didn't enjoy Poirier versus Hooker? That was one of the 25, 29 best minutes you're going to get in MMA. So sometimes maybe instead of gallivanting and drooling over who's Conor going to fight next and is Khabib going to fight Gaethje in the rematch and all this, why can't we just move on a little bit? Why can't we turn the division into Gaethje and Oliveira. Why don't we put some limelight on how about what Kama Worthy just did and Jim Miller the week before? Paul Felder. Ferguson will be back, guys. I just think sooner or later we got to look each other in the mirror and say, can we move on from Conor McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedov? All right, guys, we want to thank Warhammer Fightwear right now. They support us. We want to thank WarhammerFightwear.com. Check out the mother site right there, WarhammerFightwear.com. Check them out on Instagram. Or if you purchase stuff like I purchase stuff, go on the Amazon app, go in the search bar, and put in Warhammer Fightwear. They have some of the best gear in all of MMA. Guys, check out our friends at Warhammer Fightwear. All right, guys, here we go. Anytime a Anderson Silva subject comes on the Fight Bananas podcast, there's only one man in this galaxy that I need to call right away, and it's the Professor John Radford. My brother, how are you doing?
I am doing as good as can be. I mean, woke up on a Sunday morning really enjoying a Saturday night, so that was nice. The fights were awesome. So I'm doing well, man. Everything's moving along the best as can be. Right.
And it's just you kind of tip of the hat to Dana White and the UFC, John. It's amazing that we went through this global pandemic. We went through a lot of heartache, a lot of change, sometimes for the worse, to be blunt. And there's still no sports. There's no basketball, and there's no baseball, there's no football. It's just all this. And what is that? This is the seventh card we've seen, and these cards have been awesome. I'm not going to lie. Well, you and I talked about it probably a couple weeks ago here on the podcast. We're okay with no fans, and then not that I'm okay with this Apex Octagon. The smaller cage is absolutely banger cage. I love. You can put this cage anywhere in Madison Square Garden. I'll be happy. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely in this type of environment and giving it an overall better feel. I think once you go into the larger arenas and everything like that, you're going to need to bring the 30-foot cage back to give the aspect a little bit more of a ratio, you know what I mean? As far as TV and as far as just things go, it's such a wide open space. You don't want it to look so small essentially, but in this setting, it's 1,000% perfect, I think. I think a 25-footer in the Apex with no crowd, the way they have everything set up, it's intimate, it's awesome. It promotes action, and it's actually promoting a lot of striking action where normally this promotes a lot of grappling action. But we even saw two strikers stand for a while, two jiu-jitsu artists last night stand for a little while and bang on the feet. You know what I mean? So this is really promoting action, which is awesome for fans, and it shows you which fighters really want it. You know what I mean?
Right. And like you said too, it's guys, the world gave us chicken shit, and the UFC made chicken salad sandwich on rye with a tomato with Swiss heated. Like, they've done the best they could. I think it's been great. It's just like the commentary team and just the location, ESPN Plus, everything about it in the last month, and especially too, it's every Saturday. There literally has been 4 Saturdays in a row of major cards, huge title implication fights. We finally have a Saturday off, and then they finally go to Fight Island, UFC 251, and I know you and I are going to have a whole podcast, triple-decker title main event. We'll get into that, but the main reason why I had you on, John, we'll let it go we'll take it. So I heard and saw that Showtime Pettis would love a Anderson the Spider Silva fight. And he kind of threw it on Instagram, and, Pettis Showtime is a part of First Round Management, and the FRM got behind it, and I saw a lot of buzz, right? I saw a lot of oh, that would be kind of cool. And I'm like, yeah, I like that, dude. It would, the name of the poster, the pay-per-view could be called Showtime, and, it's easy. It's sellable. Really, really good. So, it made me think, and when people love lists, you know that, John, and I'm looking at Anderson Silva, 45 years young. It's kind of sad in a way. He's lost 6 out of his last 7 fights. One of the one of the greatest of all time. I know he's your favorite. And especially the last 2, it's kind of been bothering me. It's almost, he's becoming the gatekeeper of these young lions. The last 2, Kinnear and Adesanya. And it's like, man, I don't want that anymore. He shouldn't, the spot where he is in his career, John, he shouldn't be fighting these young lions that are championship or, just right there. I want to see cool matchups. I want to see, there was rumors of Conor and rumors of Pettis and all this stuff. So I came up with a list of 3 different guys and reasons why. And, I kind of want to go back and forth with you and see who you have and see if we are on the same page or different. Or maybe we're like, whoa, I didn't think of that. You cool with that?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yeah, like you go first because I have a few names and I think we might fall on the same page with a couple of them. So I just want to see. So you go ahead and go. But to begin with, I was kind of excited about the Showtime Anderson Silva fight. People may say that's a little mismatch here and there, but if they could get a catch weight that they're both comfortable with, I think that would have been a fun fight just for 2 strikers to try to see how it works out.
Oh yeah, and
yeah.
That's where I want to see the Silva at. This is where I want to see the Spider. He has 2 fights left on his deal. He might even only have 1 fight left in him. They said that there's just kind of like a maybe game. Like I said, I don't want to see I don't want to say a serious fight, but I don't want to see a fight that has to deal with rankings and contenders. I want to see something, to sound selfish, something cool, something unique, something that's like, oh, wow, I would never think of that matchup. You know what I mean? So this is where I came up with. All right? The first one, I love this fight. This is one that is, they can put it on a poster, stylistic. It's just one of those fights that I would be absolutely just all in with. How about Anderson Silva versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson? I know Thompson's a welterweight. They can do a catchweight. They can do a 178 or 180. Or hey, Wonderboy to fight Silva in the main event. Maybe Wonderboy even moves up all the way to 185 and just not cut a pound. You know what I mean? He can just eat cheeseburgers all week. I would love that fight. How about you?
You just said he shouldn't fight a young, prospect or big name or anything like that. But then you feed him the most lethal. And when I say lethal striker, I mean just sniper dude that can evade and move, and he's just hard to hit. And they're both going to stand. They're not going to go to the ground. Anderson's not taking anyone to the ground. If it's a standing fight, he's going to stand and bang. And I like it. I think it's great. It does nothing for Wonderboy except for giving him that legendary fight that would be awesome in his career that he'd love because he's just a martial artist and a nice guy. But at the same time, it does do something for Anderson, and I like it that way because he deserves it over all this time. He's always been a good company man. He fought Daniel Cormier on short notice. And whatnot, all this kind of stuff. It's like he's always done, always been there. You know what I mean? If he needed him, so it's like give him that long-time reigning champion. I like it. But I think there's 2 better ones. Okay. But that's not a bad one at all. It's video game wise, martial artist wise, that's an epic matchup, bro. That's fantastic. I'd love to see the striking, but it only elevates Anderson, which is great, but it kind of hurts Wonderboy. It's just kind of a cool fight for him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not getting him anywhere.
Oh, I agree, and I thought about it too. And Wonderboy's in a weird spot right now, especially with that division. It's kind of it's all tied up, and there's a lot of what's Woodley going to do and what's Masvidal going to do, and kind of Till moved up to 85. So there's just a lot of like question marks in a way. And we'll talk about Usman Burns in a later show, but I just think it would just be time consuming for Wonderboy, and it will make him a marquee main event. It's one of those things. If he wins, he kind of buffs his name back up, and if he loses, it's you went up a weight class and you fought one of the greatest of all time. I don't think it's a big negative towards him. You know what I mean?
I know, I get that. It just and like I said, that matchup wise, it's epically. That's a striker's I'm foaming at the mouth type shit.
Right.
I just think there's two more because I'm a Silva fan. I think there's two more that he has that is just as large, and it gives him more of a shot.
Okay. Do you want to run with it? You want me to give you another one?
No, I want you to keep going.
Okay. So the second one is, I'm not going to lie, this is, I'm Dave Van Auken, and this is the Fight Bananas podcast, so this is me as selfish as I can be. This is, if everyone wants to pause it or fast forward, the podcast, there's like a 15-second fast forward. If you want to do it for 2 minutes, go for it. This is a for me thing. This is a my pay-per-view. I'm in my living room by myself watching it. You ready?
If you say Brock Lesnar, I swear to God, I'm throwing my phone in the lake in front of me.
Close. No, I'm going Chael P. Sonnen, the bad guy. To me, that was maybe one of the best rivalries in all of MMA, all of UFC, both of those fights. The second fight was just, done quick, but that first fight was a really good fight. Silva had to do the comeback. I would just love to see 6 weeks of back and forth. To me, it's almost a thank you to Anderson. I think Anderson would probably, win this fight again, and it's Anderson deserves a little massage, a little, here you go, thank you. They would definitely get the pay-per-view money with Sonnen, maybe his last fight. They can almost say retirement. Loser retires forever. Like literally, like something like that. So me as a Chael Sonnen fan, I would love to see Sonnen Silva 3.
Okay. That's funny. That's funny.
You with that or?
I mean, it is what it is. If it happened, I guess I wouldn't be too mad because I'm sure the pre-fight would be pretty funny.
Right.
I think Chael would get smashed. I don't think it has it in him anymore as far as the compete at level. Anderson's been doing it a lot, at a lot higher level. We saw what Chael's was doing over there. If it was a 205, I think it would be fun. I think that's the only way it stays a little bit competitive for Chael. I think if he cut to 185, I don't think he'd have enough in him at that age.
Chael, when 199 pounds is 3 years ago. He'll never see under 2 ever again. It is what I don't know if you saw him on Instagram lately.
So 205, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 205, light heavyweight.
205, yeah. Okay, I mean, it's fun. I got, I think 2 better ones, but
okay.
Go ahead.
All right,
so another one?
Yeah, here's my favorite in a way. Here's the one that I think the UFC could do. This is the one that, as a fan, and the guy, you and I both know him, love him. I think we both talked to him. I would love to see this fight. And this is out of left field. I've never heard this. I've never seen this on any poster or picture. This is a Dave Van Auken original, too. I would love to see Anderson Silva move up to 205 and fight a co-Brazilian. I would love him, Anderson Silva versus Glover Teixeira. I just think it would be, they're both, of course, a little bit long in the tooth. It's a great stylistic matchup. I think, again, they both stand. And I just think it's one of those, really, that was on a poster. Like, some of these fights, you look back, and you're like, wow, that was a fight? Like, that's kind of cool. Like, I don't know. There's just something about it. I'm a big Glover guy. You know that. I know you are, too. I would just love it for both of their careers. It's hopefully a good payday for both men. I would love to see Glover versus Anderson.
That's a very good one. That's a good one.
Cool.
But Glover's on a tear right now, like he's going toward the title. I don't think it makes sense.
Right.
I got one along those lines that I think is a little bit better, and they both would deserve the payday, and everybody would still watch it.
Hit me.
The first one I have is Mauricio Shogun Hua.
Oh, I like that.
He's number 15 in 205 on the rankings, right?
I like that.
And that's a great payday for both of them. You can put it in Brazil.
Right.
You go, or wherever, Fight Island, wherever the hell you want to put it, you can put it anywhere. And it's either a headliner for your fight night on, ESPN Plus or, what ESPN free, or it's a co-main event for a title fight in Brazil, 100%. They're both getting paid.
Dude, I like that a lot. That's a good one.
And stylistically, that's a great matchup because they both want to strike.
Oh, yeah. So, in a way, someone's going down. Like that's not going all 15 minutes, if you know what I mean.
Yes, exactly.
Love it. Oh, dude, John, that's why I called you. I love that.
So I like that one a lot. Glover, I think, is on a tear. We should let him see how far he can get ripped through that lightweight division, light heavyweight division, because I like him right now. And then another one I got. You mentioned him. I think we talked about it just as a brief one at one point, like just chit chatting. But I think Robbie Lawler would be a good one in a catchweight.
Yeah, we did talk about that. I do love that. That's what I mean. Like, it's two just iconic, legendary, bona fide Hall of Famers. It's a cool, unique fight. 3 years ago, John, we would never, ever predict Lawler versus Silva. And that's what I'm trying to see. I'm down with that as well. That's another great one. I'm loving it.
Yeah. And then the last one, I feel like you just kind of give him anybody he chooses. Do you know what I'm saying? Like anybody, like that's not a title, that's not a top thing. Anybody that's a relative, like normal, like, hey, that's doable. Let's do that one. You know what I mean? If he really wants that, that's fine. That's that works. You know what I mean? If that guy accepts it, that works for us. Ordeal.
Let me throw out two names at you, John. Let me throw out like you just said. So remember back in the day, it was Super Bowl weekend 5 years ago. I'm looking at it right now, 2015. Holy shit! Remember when he fought Nick? How about he fights his brother Nate Diaz, Silva Diaz?
Yeah, I'm down with that too.
Okay.
Yeah, and then and if you wanted to run the Nick back.
Right.
You know what I mean? If Nick wanted to get in there and run that back with Anderson, I would be okay with that too. That was a weird fight. I'll take it again. You know, that would be, one I think Anderson could win, and I think that would, Nick would come to fight. So if it works, that wouldn't be bad. It would sell, that would.
Oh, for sure. And then one last one for you, kind of like you threw out Robbie, and you were throwing out just a couple names. When you're in the gym all the time and you're training with people, and maybe someone walks in and they come in, they're like, dude, they got like swag, and they think they're they think they're a BMF. You know what I mean? They think they're a bad boy, and it doesn't matter about weight. They just think they're a BMF, and they're just going to go against anyone. How about the BMF champion himself? The man can't get the welterweight title shot because of money. And maybe they just say, hey, you guys are the main event. You guys take all the money, that kind of thing, and just give him tons of it. And Masvidal moves up all the way up to 185 and puts up the BMF title against one of the greatest of all time, Anderson the Spider Silva.
That'd be great, but you think Masvidal you think he can fight at 185?
Well, remember when Conor did the first welterweight, he was like 164, wasn't he? Or 165?
Yeah, something like that.
Like he was 4'5". Also, even if Masvidal comes in at, 182, 181, for one, he'll be super happy. He will have a lot of happy weight on him, a lot of hamburgers. He wouldn't have to cut any weight. And, dude, Masvidal is a BMF, man. He'll just fight on the street. That's just who he is.
No, I get that. I'm not worried about it. I'm just saying, because then Anderson's going to swell back up pretty big. That's a pretty big weight difference.
Oh, for sure.
That's all. That's my only question for that. As far as that goes. See, Robbie's naturally a big guy. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
Wonder Boy's a little bit bigger of a guy too. You know what I mean? As far as overall body weight, when he walks around, he's probably close to 200 almost, you know what I mean, at some points. But that would be fun as hell. Hell yeah. That would be fun. That would 100% be fun.
And that's what I mean. I'm trying to get Silva a fun matchup. Let's get him a really cool poster. I just think he deserves it. And his name has been off the radar.
Who else?
Yeah, give it.
And I wouldn't mind him fighting Uriah Hall.
Ooh. Yeah, I think so, but I think they almost were scheduled to fight a couple times. But for one, he's got Yoel, and also Uriah to me is a little bit of a young lion. So, I don't know about it. I just think he's one of those guys that is on the rise and probably has a longer career in front of him. And I don't know if he's a big enough name either. Like I want Silva to be on a poster, Pettis, Sonnen. I love Lawler. Silva Lawler? Like, that's epic. That's really cool.
My favorite so far, though, honestly, is Shogun Rua. I think age-wise, career-wise, everything-wise, name-wise, I think those match up really well.
No, I'm with you. I think my two favorite, I think we're in the same ballpark. I think mine's Glover and Shogun's right there. And it's just, and I do agree with what you're saying. Like maybe Glover doesn't want that. Glover wants to fight Jan Blachowicz so he can be the number one contender or for the championship. Especially if Bones is really, really going to sit out. So I'm with you there. You might have won. I think maybe you've won. Maybe if on that poster, like you said, a co-main event underneath a Jose Aldo title match. How about Aldo Sterling for the bantamweight championship is the main event. And then the co-main is Silva Shogun.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Pay-per-view sold.
There you
Everything's sold out.
Brazil sells the house out. Man, dude, I always love talking to you, and I know you were going to be all into it with Silva. And you brought the heat. You brought Lawler up. You brought Shogun up. Before I let you leave, and it was definitely the hot topic of the weekend. Dustin and Hooker was like the fight of the year. But even afterwards, just to be honest, the interviews and the social media, I saw tons of stuff on Orlando's own Mike Perry with the corner and taxes and winning. So, I know you've known Mike for a while, John. Like, what can you put a bow on Perry's weekend?
He did what he said he was going to do. I mean, it's just simple as that. He outdid everything. Like, he outstruck him. I mean, he got hit a little bit, which is part of the game, you know what I mean? But he stood right in there. He, withstood everything he needed to, and he won. He, out-grappled him, on the ground when they were down there. He, outstruck him on the feet. You know what I mean? As far as that goes, he landed the more significant shots, as far as it was going. I mean, had him on his back, on his back foot most of the fight. I think all the fight, takedowns. I mean, he did exactly what he said he was going to do. And you can't say nothing. And then he said he wants his money. And I think every American in the world want their money. Like, I mean, I get it. Taxes suck.
That is real talk. But does it 2% bother you as a coach? And to me, your nickname is the Professor. You're unbelievable on that corner, talking to your guy through the cage, round by round. saying, hey, we thought we were going to wrestle. No, we're going to jab in round 2. Or hey, we were going to jab all night, but he's moving. He's moving his head off the center line. Let's take him down. Let's see what he is on the ground. Does it bother you that he's like, no, the coaches don't know shit. I got my girl here, and that's all I need.
Everybody's different.
Okay.
And I'm just saying, everyone's different. You know what I mean? Like, some basketball players respond to being yelled at. Some need to be coddled. So, some fighters need to be, slapped in the face before the fight. Other fighters are already completely angry before they even get out there. You know what I mean? Some dudes are calm, cool, collected. Everybody's different. And as a fighter, it's your career. It's what you do. Who am I to tell you how to live your life? You know what I mean? As far as that goes, this is exactly what it is. It's your career. He's right when he says that he's the one that goes in there and fights. No one else does. He's absolutely right about that. You are the one fighting. So you do what you have to do to put yourself in the best situation to win and be successful. I assume that every fighter tries to do that, whether it's conventionally the right way or conventionally or would be looked at as unconventionally. You know what I mean? But do you, bro? Like, right? It's I don't know what else to say. And if he thinks he's good the way he is, then great. If he goes out and performs like that more and more, I mean, who are we to say anything at all?
No, 100% you're right. That's so funny you said that, because before the fight, it came up, and I used the same analogy. I was like, with my kids, I go, one boy I can get on and say, hey, clean up everything, and one boy, hey, you're the best. Can you please clean up this? It's different. Everyone's different. And if Mike is thinking, he's got his girl and that's all he needs in the corner, and dude, he did. Not to throw any shade, he did fight really well. Like, to me, he was dominant. The game plan or not game plan, he won the fight very convincingly versus, Mickey Gall, who's just no throwaway. So you just, sooner or later, if he does it again, you just have to say, ooh, got to give credit where credit's due. But I just think it's so funny that all on social media, you saw all these UFC fighters be like, God dang it, Mike, now my girl's asking to be in my corner, like all kinds of stuff like that. He could start a trend. He could be a trend maker.
Yeah, man, that home life is always a little particular in certain ways, you know what I mean? So somebody might be looking and going, so all those times I asked you to be in your corner, this is, like you said that you really needed your coaches, what about that?
I love it. Yeah, Mike did it. Mike did it.
I want to go on vacation too.
Oh my gosh!
I mean? You never know. It might be some delicate conversations happening as we speak.
Absolutely. Talking about vacations this weekend coming up, July 4th, maybe one of my favorite holidays. I think it's number 2. Christmas is 1. July 4th for me is 2nd. I'm a July 4th guy. I love it.
I like it too. It's one of my fun ones.
It's, it's summer, it's sun, it's barbecue, it's Bud Light, it's Americana. I love it. It's all, I'm all about it. So, but yeah, there's no UFCs this weekend. Next weekend is finally Fight Island, UFC 251. John, you and I, we're going to go all in. I want 3 hours on total full fight breakdowns. So,
Let's do it.
I'm ready. I'm going to start dotting my I's and crossing my T's and get ready for it. But I cannot wait, man. Jude, if you don't have anything else, I'm ready to roll. That was awesome. Anderson Silva. So you got Shogun, I got Glover. I love it. I think the people of Fight Bananas community is going to love that. Hey, if you guys have one that you think you're yelling, I mean, you're jogging on your treadmill or you're driving right now, you're like, what? How about Anderson Silva versus, how about him versus Yoel Romero? Or how about him versus Conor McGregor? You guys didn't even mention Conor. Whatever it is, throw it at us. Slide in the DMs. Fight Bananas Official on IG. Slide right in.
Well, Dave, I appreciate you. Thank you for having me again, buddy.
Absolutely, brother. I'll talk to you real soon. All right, man. Be good out there.
All right. Y'all have a good one. Later.
Later. All right, guys, that was it. That was John Radford, the professor, always jumping in the Fight Bananas podcast, man. We love that guy. Guys, real quick, before we wrap up the podcast, another supporter of the show, Fusion CBD products. Guys, check them out at fusioncbd.com or check them out on the IG. They have a great Instagram page, Fusion CBD products. Guys, I use the InstaFreeze. It's 36. I'm getting out there, so definitely check out that InstaFreeze at Fusion CBD products. All right, man. We're going to wrap it up here. There's a couple last things I definitely want to hit on. 2 is from this weekend. 2 fighters on the card that's a Fight Bananas alum, especially recently. One, Brendan All-In Allen. Absolutely great performance by him. Just keeps on winning fights. I know the kid was new, but the kid was tough as hell. He was 9-0 going into the fight. And I know he was on short notice, but you can only fight whoever steps in the cage. And you just keep on winning fights in the UFC, big things keep happening. So I'm really happy for Brendan All-In Allen. I know the news today is he has a couple of broken bones in the face and orbital and all that. But, he'll be back maybe at the end of this year, maybe early 2021. I know he wants that Ian Heinisch fight a lot. Maybe that some fights are just not meant to happen. Ferguson Gaethje. Ferguson Habib Nurmagomedov. It's just not meant to happen. Also, Kama Worthy. Kama Worthy was on the show last month, but then he was on, UFC 250. We did a live cast, and he was with us for multiple hours, 3-4 hours. Kama Worthy with a nice upset victory versus VBR, Violent Bob Ross, Luis Pena. Great fight, too, by the way. I thought Pena was up a couple rounds, maybe 2-0. Not sure. Maybe it was 1-1. But Kama just with an unbelievable guillotine in the third, out of nowhere. He was like a plus 750 to get a submission victory. So that came out of left field. So congratulations, Worthy. Hopefully we'll get him on the show really soon. Huge fan of Kama's future. 2-0, same thing under the octagon. You just keep winning fights. Just keep on moving up. So big ups to Allen and big ups to Worthy. All right, we're going to close it with this. We talked about it with the professor, how the Apex has a smaller cage. And, I hear a lot of pros and a lot of cons about it. And I get both sides of it. But let me just kind of take it to, I like to, bring it out to left field. And literally, I'm going to bring you out to left field. Fenway Park, one of the most iconic home fields, arenas, ballparks there is. They have a huge monster. It's like 60 feet tall, and it's like 50 feet in from other stadiums. It's a unique ballpark. Yankee Stadium's 90 feet back. Wrigley Field has grass, has vines inside the wall. My point is, there's different arenas, there's different fields to play sport in. The cage is a cage. It's still, 28 feet or however big. It's still a very, big octagon. It's just not as big as the regular one or, as big as the pay-per-view ones. So fighters have to adjust and have to adapt. And as a fan and as someone who covers MMA, we love it. It's been absolutely great. They've been, there's no, 2 out of the last 3 weeks, there's been Fight of the Year candidates, a lot of upsets, a lot of bangers, prelims. How about the Maurice Green, submission pull-out victory in the third? There's just been so much good MMA. So I just think you just have to adapt. Guys, we are in a global pandemic where I know we're on the other way out. I know hopefully things are going to get good soon, but, you got to tip your hats off to Dana White, the UFC, and all the fighters. Absolutely. They're ready. All these guys and girls have been absolutely ready. There's been great show-out performances. Emmett, Robertson, Poirier, just tons of Nunes, just unbelievable talent showing up. So that's it, guys. We're rolling. Thank you so much to the Professor John Rafford, Anderson Silva. Who will he fight next? A lot of love to Dustin the Diamond Poirier. The availability, the ability, he's got it all. An unbelievable performance by him. Take the rest of the year off. Be Parker's dad for the rest of the year. Be the good guy you are, and give back to the community. We love you here on the Fight Bananas podcast. Dustin the Diamond Poirier. And guys, make sure you keep on subscribing, sharing with a friend. The numbers of this month of June has been absolutely bananas. We appreciate everyone out there. Just keep on staying bananas. Stay healthy out there. Hey, it is what it is. Wear a mask. Keep on, protecting the people. And we'll talk to you guys very, very soon. We're going to have a busy, busy week here on the Fight Bananas podcast.